So here we finally are, the last month for a stacked year of PSVR2 content, and December isn't letting up at all. So today we're going to be going through all the games that are coming out in December on PSVR2, the rumoured ones and the confirmed ones. However, before we jump into that, I do have to thank the sponsor of today's video, VR Wave. VR Wave are the creators of PSVR2 lenses to correct nearsightedness, farsightedness, and astigmatism, and tailor-make their lenses precisely to your eye prescription. So players no longer have to fit their glasses into the VR headset and risk scratching the precious lenses in the headset. Even for people with perfect vision like myself, VR Wave create blue light filter lenses and anti-glare lenses that can help protect your eye's health, because let's be honest, having a microwave with two screens strapped to your face at all times probably isn't the healthiest for your eyes. And blue light will cause eye fatigue and sleep disruption, which can be filtered out by the VR Wave lenses. They also have a great magnetic design, meaning that you can easily switch and play different prescriptions if you have different people switching between the headset at one time. They ship worldwide, and you can simply order at www.vrwave.store by filling out the online form, and the link will also be in the description below. Once again, thanks to them for sponsoring this video. Sponsors help me keep making this sort of content, so big thanks to VR Wave. With that out of the way, let's jump straight into the PSVR2 games for 2023 in December. First of all, we have a game delayed from last month to this month, which I actually didn't cover in its own video because the delay kind of slipped past me a little bit, but again, we are seeing Arashi Castles of Sin Final Cut. Castles of Sin has been delayed to December 6th in 2023, and this is a stealth-based title set in feudal Japan that involves a lot of melee combat, stealth, and kind of reminds me a little bit of what we could see if Ghost of Tsushima was brought into VR. These devs are pretty seasoned, and this Final Cut edition takes Arashi Castles of Sin, which was on the original PSVR, and brings it up to our brand new level on PSVR2. If I can manage to get my hands on this, I'll be quite excited to play this game because I love feudal Japan as a setting, and I've been waiting for a game to really latch onto that in PSVR2, and I think this one might just be it. We're getting very close to the release date now, so I'm not anticipating another delay, so by all intents and purposes, Arashi Castles of Sin should be coming on December 6th. On December 7th, we have the long-awaited sequel to Arizona Sunshine, the single-player or co-op zombie game that promises to bring brand new levels of immersion and detail with its long-awaited sequel. Arizona Sunshine was first known for having some incredibly fun co-op multiplayer antics, where you're traversing around the zombie apocalypse doing missions with a friend or two, and it's confirmed that Arizona Sunshine 2 will also have co-op. With some brutal combat mechanics, impressively detailed gunplay, interactability with the world, and a setting in Arizona that looks better than ever before, Arizona Sunshine 2 is stacking up to be one of the most anticipated games for the end of the year, not just on PSVR 2, but on every platform, as it's received some great feedback from all the creators who've tried it so far. If I can get my hands on Arizona Sunshine 2, I will be covering it on the channel. However, I have reached out to the devs, so we just gotta wait and see. If you don't see me covering it, it's probably just because I haven't got a key and I just can't afford to go out and buy a PSVR2 game at that price point at the moment. So I apologize in advance if I don't cover this one at launch, but I will try my best for you guys to cover it and get my thoughts out there. So there we have it, Arizona Sunshine 2 on December 7th. On December 12th, we have the launch of the long-awaited Vertigo 2 on PSVR2. Vertigo 2 has been hailed as one of the best VR games of all time in terms of the quality for the size of the dev team. The game was made for PCVR by one single person, while the porting process has included the entire Perp Games team who are porting it over to PSVR2. It still is incredible to see the work of one person get as much praise as Vertigo 2 has. It's a story-based action FPS involving some puzzles, some incredible environments, and I have purposefully been holding off looking at any reviews for the original release or any gameplay aside from the trailer you're seeing right now, because I do want to go into this one as blind as possible. It's one of my most anticipated PSVR2 games of all time, to be honest. Since the headset got announced, I've been begging for Vertigo 2 to be released, and we're so close now. Let's hope the game lands on time, because we have had a delay for it before. I believe in the team. I think they're going to get it done for December 12th. I'm hoping to get a key to review this one for you guys, but this one is so important to me that I will try my very hardest to get some coverage and footage for you guys and a review, because I'm so excited for Vertigo 2 on December 12th. Shifting forward a little bit, we have December 14th with the arrival of Help Wanted 2. Help Wanted 2 is the long-awaited sequel to the Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted VR and flat screen game that I've just covered for its PSVR 2 port a week or so ago, so you can go check out that video if you want to get an indication of what the sequel will play like, because it once again is being handled by Steel Wool Studios, and this time focuses mostly on their side of the franchise, because if you're not aware, the original creator for Five Nights at Freddy's kind of handed over the reins to Steel Wool in terms of the games and the story, and they have produced Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach and Five Nights at Freddy's Ruin as a game and DLC that is very heavily going to be covered in Help Wanted 2 in terms of its content. Help Wanted 1 focused mainly on the original games, but here we're seeing the characters from Steel Wool Studios' interpretation of the franchise come over to VR, and I'm incredibly excited to see how they transfer all these characters over, because I'm not the biggest fan of the later FNAF games, so I am excited to get to know all these new characters and get scared once again. Help Wanted 2 also includes the Knights from Sister Location, one of the more unorthodox FNAF games, and I'm excited to see how they transfer its mechanics over to VR. So, FNAF Help Wanted 2, definitely keep it on your radar if you're looking for some scares this holiday season. Right, I had this video sorted, I had it done, it was rendered, it was completely good to go 2 days before it was ready to release, and then Capcom come out yesterday and announced that Resident Evil 4 comes out on December 8th. Next Friday. I'm not gonna lie, the effort to go and re-render this video and re-record this part is absolutely nothing compared to the excitement I have for this VR mode. I absolutely loved Resident Evil 8. I purposefully don't know anything about Resi 4. I've never played it. I didn't play the remake for this particular reason, so that I could play through it in VR for the first time. And we're gonna be doing a playthrough just like we did with Resident Evil 8 a couple weeks ago. So we're gonna be playing through the entire game, and I'm incredibly excited for it. Resident Evil 4 is one of the classic horror games, and it's good enough that it even got a remake, which is the version that we're getting in this VR port, and I'm so excited for it. So keep an eye out for the Resident Evil 4 remake VR port on December 8th of 2023. And lastly, keep an eye open for Breaches this month for any news, because it is possible that Breaches could be brought over to PSVR2 in the month of December, as it was delayed unfortunately out of its November launch. However, we have no official word about that though, so I'm just saying keep an eye out. I know nothing more than you guys do in terms of actual information, so this is all just speculation on my part, but we could see Breaches come out in December, so we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, those are all the games coming out in December for PSVR 2, or possible games coming out in December for PSVR 2. As always, keep your eye open for any other ports or any other games that could be announced, as I didn't want to include Among Us VR in this list because we've had no word of it for a very long time, but it is also possible that Among Us VR could be brought over to the headset as a surprise drop in December. So yeah, just keep an eye out for unannounced games, because they always pop up out of nowhere every month, and I can't update this list retroactively unless I put some stuff in the comments, which I'll usually pin if I do so. Anyway, thank you all for watching, hope you did enjoy it. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you all in the next video.